The next thing we want to do in 3D Studio Max is take the image that we painted in Photoshop and saved as a JPEG. We want to take that image and apply it to the 3D model. Now the process for that can be really simple. You can actually drag the JPEG straight onto the model from the Windows Explorer straight into 3D Studio Max. That skips a few key processes. So I want to use the material editor to build up the appropriate process. When you open the material editor, you may find its appearance looking a little bit different. It might start up as what's called the slate material editor. Just change the mode of the material editor from the menu in the top left-hand corner to compact mode. It's a little bit easier to work with. We take the first material slot available in the material editor and give it a descriptive name. So it's my wall texture. It's a standard material, and what we really want to do is overwrite the diffuse color, because it's the diffuse color that decides how the material looks. If the material's yellow, the diffuse color is yellow, the material's yellow. If the diffuse color is green, the material is green. So we're going to override this diffuse color, this flat color, with our Photoshop file, our JPEG from Photoshop. So next to the diffuse color is an empty swatch. Click on that, and from the map browser that appears, choose Bitmap and find the digital image that you saved. Now remember that it's a good idea to keep all of these files together in the one folder so that you don't lose them. 3D Studio Max only references the location of the file, it doesn't embed it in the file. So you need to make sure you remember where you saved it and you keep them together in the same folder. So I've assigned now my digital image from Photoshop, my JPEG, as the diffuse color for my 3D model. Before I apply that to my 3D model, I click this option here called Show Shaded Material in Viewport, and then I simply click and drag that onto my model, and you have a textured house. Front door and windows, side windows, and a back door. Now I haven't done this to a very high standard, but you can see from the example at the top of the page how much colour, how much detail you can actually put into this project. To do the same thing to the rest of the model, so the chimney and the roof, we go through the same process again. So we select the next part of the model, so the roof this time, and again find or apply the unwrap UVW modifier, open the UV editor template, select the polygons and choose to flatten the mapping. Now because of the angle of the roof, you may find that the 45-degree threshold that we used before for the walls might not work as well. I'll press OK and I'll explain what I mean. You see here in these panels, the top two panels, or the two main panels, the front and the back of the roof, are joined together as one large panel. So we want to separate those panels so that we can individually texture them like we did with the walls of the house. So when we choose to flatten mapping for the roof, we can actually set the angle threshold right down to 0. And what we'll get as a result from that is every panel of the roof, all 5 panels,